Hey you guys, in this lesson we're going to draw a fall mushroom. And here's a quick preview of how my drawing turned out at the very end. I hope you're really excited to follow along with me. This lesson is super fun. And we're using our pencil and eraser to draw the main shapes of our mushroom before we switch to our markers. But you don't have to use the same supplies. You can use whatever you have. Colored pencils would work great. All right, let's get started. Let's first start with our pencil and we'll draw the main shapes of our mushroom. First, we're going to start with an oval shape. We're going to start here in the middle of our paper, but towards the top. And this is just meant for guidelines. So it's okay if they're messy. Don't worry about making these lines look perfect. Okay, next let's draw the stem for our mushroom. We're going to draw two lines coming down, and I'm kind of curving them and also getting a little wider towards the bottom. Then we can also draw the bottom of our little mushroom's coat. And then I went past right here. So we could switch to our eraser and erase those extra lines. And if I ever go too fast or you want to take extra time really working on these steps, remember to pause the video and then you can get the lines just the way you want them before you move on to the next step. Now we're going to draw letter U's for our little mushroom's legs and feet. Next we could draw the top of our mushroom, the cap I think is what it's called. And then we're going to draw two curves coming out from the side, and we're going to come up towards the middle and then back down. And I think I want to make this a little taller. And maybe it's a little more round too. I think we can come out further this way. This looks a little bit wider. I want it to be the same on both sides, so there we go. And my lines are a little wobbly. It's okay. All right, now let's erase those extra lines. And you could also change your drawing. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. You could make your mushroom really tall or super short. You could make it a lot shorter than the size I'm making it. I also want to make this round, more round at the top instead of so pointed. So let's draw, I'm going to erase that top part, and then we'll draw a curve more like that. Yeah, there we go. Now it looks more like a mushroom. You could also take extra time to add smaller mushrooms on the side. So give your big mushroom some friends. Now we got the main shapes. Oh, we could also add, let's add one more. I'm going to add an arm on this side, an arm here, and try to line that up with the other side and draw an arm over here. There we go. Yeah, let's leave it just like that, and we can switch to our marker. We're going to add all the details with this, but if you want to, you can stay with your pencil and just keep adding more details until you get everything just the way you want it. And then if you want, you could switch at the very end to use your marker. Okay, let's start with the face. I'm going to draw a little smile right here. And then we could draw the eyes. I'm going to draw little ovals and then color them in. And then we can draw the head next. I'm going to change it different than what we have. I'm going to draw curving out for little cheeks on both sides. And then we can come underneath for the chin over to the other side. Yeah. Now let's give our little mushroom a scarf. I'm going to start with the part that's coming down or hanging down. We're going to draw two lines, and I'm also drawing them with a bit of an S curve to them. We could draw a short line across and two more lines there. Yeah. Okay, next let's draw the scarf, or the rest of the scarf. We're going to draw two bumps on each side, and then we'll draw the bottom of the scarf. I'm going to draw a curve matching the bottom of the mushroom's head, or the chin. Okay, next let's draw the coat. We're going to draw starting at the armpit, not all the way up here. We're going to start down, and we'll trace over the pencil lines. Then we can connect them at the very bottom. Then let's draw the middle of the coat. And we can also add two buttons. We could also add pockets. I'm going to draw a letter U here and a matching one on this side. And then we can draw the top. Okay, now let's give our coat sleeves. We're going to draw going outside of the pencil and then back in. And we'll do the same thing here, trying to match both sides. Okay, now let's draw the hands sticking out. And we'll just trace over the pencil line. And then also the legs and feet. I'm going to make these just a little shorter. Yeah, there we go. Kind of looks like Toad a little bit. Now this part through the head, if you want, you can switch to your eraser just to make sure we don't draw through the face. Okay, we're gonna trace over this oval, the first oval we drew. If you want, you could start in the middle, draw this way first, and then come back and draw the other side. Okay, now for the head, I'm gonna start up here also, and we'll draw this side coming down first. Now, if you're left-handed, you could start going the other way. And then I'm gonna come back up here, and then we'll continue and draw this side. Yeah, now to make it look more 3D, we could also add another curve inside. So now it kind of looks like a big giant hat. All right, we did it. We finished our little mushroom, except we still need to color it. This part will always fast forward because I want to challenge you to color your drawings differently. But at the end, if you want, you can pause the video to use my drawing as inspiration for yours. And one thing also, before you color, be sure to erase all of the guidelines or pencil lines you can still see. I'm all finished coloring my drawing and also adding extra things. Now you can pause the video like I mentioned and match my same coloring or use it as inspiration, but I hope you'll really change your drawing. You can add a whole background to really complete it. I also use darker colors to add shading to make it look more 3D. But you could leave that off and color it solid to keep the lesson a lot easier. But I think it would be really awesome if you did this lesson all over again and change it by adding a lot more mushroom friends. They could be a lot smaller and you could draw them even standing on top of each other. I hope you had a lot of fun following along with me and drawing a fall mushroom. Remember, it's okay if your drawings look different than mine. The most important thing is to have fun and practice. And we'll see you later, art friends. Goodbye.